Hi, how are you? My name is Amanda. My website's amandaknows.com. I'm a psychic medium. Been doing readings since I was 21 years old. I'm 56. On and off professionally, I've worked, but I always read even when I'm working. Anyway, I did this video already, but I want to do it again, a little milder maybe. This is kind of a warning video. And I don't want to take anyone to take this as a judgment or coming down on any kind of behavior or policing you in any way. I just want to give you a heads up about some things. First of all, there's a lot of different classes out there, and I'm sure they're wonderful, and a lot of people have learned a lot of stuff taking them. But my deal on that is this. If the first thing they're teaching you is not how to shield and close and open your aura at will, then you should seriously wonder if these people know what they are doing. Because the thing that makes a good psychic medium is the ability to turn off and turn on this ability. If I was out picking up on people's energy everywhere I went, I'd end up being a recluse that never left my house because it would make me crazy. My mother was a medium as well, and I got taught shielding and psychic self-defense, I don't know, 12, 13. I mean, my mother said she always thought I was psychic. She told me a story one time. She thought I kept telling her there was a ghost in the house, and she thinks it was me moving things. I don't really remember that, but she talked about it. Anyway, also another word of caution are hallucinogenics, the ayahuasca, the shrooms, especially if you're a psychic person. Because the deal with being a psychic person is you emit a lot more light than other people. That's why people are drawn to you. That's why you'll have them approach you out and about, talk to you. You'll find you're in the line at the grocery store and people are telling you things about themselves that you're like, oh my God, I can't unhear that now. That there's an energy to being a healer, which a psychic medium is someone who heals people spiritually. I also, do healings as well, but I'm just making a point. Anyway, the problem with doing hallucinogens is that if you are doing it with someone who does not know what they are doing and say you're having a bad experience, they're not going to know how to do some kind of protection around you and help you shield yourself. Because the bottom line is if you're half in, half out of your body, then you're allowing yourself to be open to other things to come in. That's why, people who've had massively traumatic abuse get multiple personalities. In my opinion, could it be entities attaching from the amount of abuse that they go through? I'm not saying that's proven, and I'm not disputing any kind of current psychology by talking about that. I'm just trying to give an example that's the first one that popped into my head. Because the deal is, you're kind of leaving your body. Well, there's a void there. What happens when there's a void there? There's a space to be filled. So unless you know how, or the person with you knows how to shield you and shut you back down, there's a lot that can be done that can happen to you that can cause great damage. So there is a cautionary tale here. And I do find it interesting. Why are they pushing hallucinogens so hard? What is that about? Have you guys not wondered that? Have you not thought, why are they pushing all this? Why are they peddling all of this? Well, there's a lot of bad going on in the world right now. So there's a lot of entities floating around here. And if you're not careful and you leave and create a space for them to come in, well, and then if you don't know how to kick them back out or shut your aura back down after you've done some crazy out-of-body experience, well, then you're vulnerable. It's almost like, the way I can compare it is, it's like you've peeled off your skin and you're wandering around with no skin on. What happens if you wander around with no skin on? Well, you die, or you get really, really sick, or you're vulnerable. And the thing with people doing psychic work on you and doing intuitive work on you, it's like spiritual surgery. So if someone's working on your aura for you, if they were removing stuff, they need to have your permission. And just like if you had, say, a big piece of wood stuck in your shoulder, you would pull the wood out if you were a medical professional, flush the wound out, make sure there was nothing in the wound, flush it, stitch it up, and then put a bandage on it. So the same principle applies to spiritual things. So the point I'm trying to make is people that are leading these things there's no basics for what people are learning. And first and foremost, the number one basic everyone should be learning is self-protection first. Nothing else matters if you cannot seal yourself back up spiritually. If you cannot prevent things and people's emotions and issues from going all over you. That's like empathic people, why they're tired all the time. Well, there's no one teaching you how to shield. So these are things that if you're doing spiritual stuff, should be looked at. You know, if people are working on you spiritually, they should know how to shield. They should be shielding first and foremost. If you were learning any kind of a healing technique or anything like that, the first thing people should be getting taught is protection before anything else. Because when you're doing what you're doing, you're putting a spotlight on yourself. And not everything out there is going to be good. You know? So there's a cautionary tale here. And I'm not trying to be like no fun, uptight, whatever. What I'm saying is people doing these things should know protection first. That's just, if you go camping, you take your gear. Well, one of your best gear as a spiritual person is your barrier. Just like your skin and everything else, your clothing. There's a protective measure that we use all day, every day. There's a reason for these things. It protects us. So having a boundary and a shield around yourself and knowing how to do that is important, as well as whoever is working on you or working with you know how to do the same thing. And these are things you should ask first and foremost. Like the ones who go to the shamans and do the ayahuasca journeys, those shamans have trained for years and years and done lots of teaching to do those things. They're not just somebody who got a year ago, all of a sudden decided this is what they were going to do and just started doing it. No, there's a lot of training behind it. But I took a beginning shamanism course in the early 2000s by the Harner School of Shamanic Studies, and we had to read the book before we took the weekend intensive course. It was 2 days, and we did journeys, and we did a soul animal retrieval and a power animal retrieval, and went to the upper world and went to the lower world, which is, if you research shamanism, you'll know what that is. But anyway, in the book, they talked about it because they'd studied shamanism all over the world. That was when I learned that shamans are in every culture. It's not just an American, Native American thing. They're everywhere. Asian cultures, all cultures have shamans, all of them. And what they learned was from talking to many, many people who did the journeys and did the spiritual seeking is that they found that the drugs were not any more powerful in experience. They could have just as powerful an experience without the chemical influences. In fact, they didn't find there was much of a difference. So my deal on this is, if this is really what you're after, be careful, first of all, but why not risk it and just do it, the old fashioned way. I get the shortcuts, and I get being in a hurry and wanting to know things. I get that. I'm not judging on that. I'm just giving a word of warning and a caution. Because if the person who's helping you on your journey doesn't know how to shut your aura back down and shield you and put the gold ball back around you, well, they're leaving you open and vulnerable. And that could be very, very detrimental to you and tear holes in your aura that you'll then have to spend forever rebuilding and try to put yourself back together again. So all I'm saying on it is, this is a journey and it's a process, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of just learning. There's a lot of learning involved in this. But it's a study, It's like medical people learning how to suture and do all the things that they do. This is a similar thing. But first and foremost, shield yourself. And whoever is teaching you, if they are not teaching you that and they do not know how to do that, especially when they are working and messing with your aura and your energy, then that is concerning for you. That is very concerning for you, and you should have caution. Thank you. Have a great day.